win over Washington last season. Meanwhile, for Tony Annan's group in his second season leading the Gamecocks, you go back to last year, well, not the result he was looking for. A 5-0 loss on the road at Riggs Field up in Clemson. Looking at Annan's starting 11 tonight, we already said Ben Alexander, a true freshman, will be in goal, but you look at other players around the pitch, you see there Will Crane. The transfer in from Brown. Crane is a player who Tony Annan has coached since he was 13 years old. He's the veteran who steps in. Then look at a guy there like Brocky Perez to step up and play a youthful presence for the Gamecocks. It's a capacity crowd. Sandstorm is blaring, white towels being waved throughout Stone Stadium tonight. It doesn't get better than this. The Tigers and the Gamecocks on the pitch. We're underway. Willie Moose kicking into the back line. The biggest key early on for South Carolina is going to try and disrupt the rhythm of play that the Tigers love to go after, and that is a possession-oriented style that Mike Noonan's implemented in his 13 seasons at the helm. Alexander back to midfield. It'll stay Gamecocks possession. South Carolina with a 1-1 tie against Ohio State a week ago up in Columbus. They wrapped up that weekend in Ohio with a 4-2 loss against Dayton. And a match that Tony Annan simply said his group got a bit of a surprise. They looked tired and flat out of the open. He was looking for a much more explosive start from his group this evening. Mannion will trail back, corral the kick. Clement, a good deflection. Crane gives way. In stride goes Myring. Once again, Mannion's there. Trevor Mannion's second start in goal this season for Clemson. Came against the season opener against Indiana. Had 4 saves, but 2 goals allowed, one of which was an early mistake. He didn't see action against USC Upstate on Tuesday night. Gamecocks trying to work out their own defensive third back towards midfield. Myring looking for Luckhurst. You see along the far side there, they ran out of seats at Stone Stadium tonight. Along the railing are students and fans of this rivalry from both sides. We see an overwhelming majority of garnet, but speckled through are spots of the bright orange. Tigers trying to strike early. On the cross. Stay Tigers possession on the near touch line. Montana, the throw. Keeps it short, looking for Say. Here's Chafumba, working into the corner. And that'll be a goal kick for the Gamecocks coming up. Ben Alexander, a key figure that Tony Annan is not just going to be counting on here tonight against a Tigers team that scored 5 goals in their first 2 matches, but he's a figure, a part of a massive freshman class. 18 freshmen brought in by Annan in year 2 in a roster overhaul move. Talking to Alexander earlier this week, just simply asked him why South Carolina, why Tony Annan in year 2, and simply said he believes in the message and thinks that Tony Annan can really restart this Gamecock program. Working into the 18 is Myring. And it'll stay Gamecocks possession near the corner flag. Throw in upcoming. Looking for League. Moved away into the corner. Upcoming goal kick. Parker League, one of the few remaining veterans on this Carolina squad. Holdover the previous staff of Mark Burson. Perez the takeaway. Ran out of room along the far side. Trailing it back was Just. Initially lost his touch, had to regain control as he worked his way into the wing. Gamecocks just trying to get back across the center slip. That will stay Gamecocks possession. Clement, senior captain for this group. Tony Annan just simply says Peter Clement, a silent leader on the pitch, but a player who commands a ton of respect from his teammates. Crane, another co-captain for this group. Working the far side. Back to Lily Moose. Whistled against the Gamecocks and Crane. Free kick for the Tigers. Eighth minute of action here in the first half. Throw in that Montana will have the honors for. Montana. Redshirt junior, Duval, Washington. His third start in 2022. Trying to find some room is Chimfumba. Works around League into the 18. Tripped up. And a big moment coming up for the Tigers. Corner kick for the top-ranked team in the land. Can they strike early? Reed from the corner. Luckhurst the stop. And a foul issued against the Tigers as Peter Clement, or excuse me, issued against the Gamecocks. It looked like Clement was the one who was upended, but he was the guilty party. Just outside the 18. 50-50 call there, could have gone either way. Tigers will have Montana taking a free kick. It's 10 yards outside the box. Montana. Header booted away. Another shot from Reed. Wide right, his intended target. And off a deflection, another corner kick upcoming for the Tigers. Reed keeps it short. Off the foot of Sela. Here's Gomez, up and over the upper 90. First shot of the match from either team. As we approach the 10th minute in the first half. Well, if you're South Carolina, you have to like so far that you've halted the scoring threats that Clemson has posed. This is a Tiger team that scores often, 5 goals in their first 2 matches, as we said, but also likes to score fast, a very aggressive offensive style of play. You go back to the national championship win over Washington, a 2-0 game for the Tigers, but their first goal in that match coming 30 seconds in. Down is Silla. Foul called against the Gamecocks. Taking it away is Perez, talented freshman. But right back come the Tigers. Capacity crowd at Stone Stadium, much like we saw last night. Less than 24 hours ago, it was these same 2 institutions facing off with their women's squads, and that came down to the wire. A 2-2 tie between the 4th-ranked Gamecocks and the Tigers. Inside the 18, here's Reed. On a cross, Crane the stop. A 2-2 tie where the Gamecocks scored the equalizer in the 80th minute. Kat Berry getting her first goal of the season last night for Shelley Smith's group. Say. Across the way to Wallif. Back into the wing goes Silla. Gamecocks wanting possession, but it'll be a throw in for the Tigers. The plea from Nielsen was not enough. Alexander, the sliding stop, as Say was looking for his 2nd goal of the season. One thing for Tony Annan's group here early on in this match is you have to start creating more offensive opportunities for yourself. We said earlier, this is a Clemson team. Their style of play is simply one word: possession, possession, possession. Well, they've dominated from the early start, keeping it in their offensive third of the pitch. Say to give pressure. Here's Clement. Can the Gamecocks keep it moving forward? Back the other way for the Tigers yet again. See Phil Jones, his 13th season as associate head coach with the Tigers. If you missed it earlier, their lead man, head coach Mike Noonan, away from the team tonight due to an illness, did not make the trip to Columbia. Myring in stride, looking for an opportunity. He's got Luckhurst to his right. Myring just outside the box, shoots off the top crossbar. First shot of the night for the Gamecocks. Can they keep the momentum on their side? A rocket off the right foot of Harrison Myring. Foul issued out against Perez and the Gamecocks. pass. Chafumba. He's down on the grass. Another look back here at Myring. Had some open territory just outside the penalty area. And a laser beam ricocheted all the way back out past the 18. So far, a scruffy match to start. A couple fouls for both. Perez, a sliding stop that upended Chafumba. Luckhurst and Myring. Myring tripped up. But an offside issued against the Gamecocks. Stone Stadium crowd isn't too happy with that call. Big weekend in the capital city. You go back to last night, like we said, the Palmetto Series women's edition last night, ending in a 2-2 tie. Another look back here. Myring ahead of that back defender. Really a stretch and a half. Here tonight, these two foes are facing off. Then tomorrow night, 7:30 kickoff in Williams-Brice Stadium. It's Shane Beamer's Gamecocks playing host to Georgia State as the college football season gets underway. Officially announced earlier this afternoon. Last night, a sellout crowd. Here tonight, a sellout crowd. Tomorrow, over for college football, Beamer's group will be in front of a sellout crowd under the lights once again. One of my favorite stories from Tony Annan so far. He joined the Gamecocks before last season after a stint with Atlanta United. Of course, Atlanta known for having a large population and plenty of traffic to go around. I simply asked him, what do you like most about living here in Columbia? And he said, hey, a lot less traffic. I can get to work in 8 minutes, and the only thing that's stopping me is a single traffic light. I don't spend so much time in my car anymore, and there's a lot less food wrappers on the floorboards. Five fouls now against the Gamecocks. Silla tangled up with Clement. Loose ball, Perez comes away. Back to lead. Luckhurst too much on the touch for Perez. It seems that when the Gamecocks have had their opportunities, one offside call and now a pair of just too much weight on the touches to the striking player. Thompson back line doing work. Ben Erkins along the far side. Lily Moose to Myring, trying to go outside. Perez. Backline stop once again by Montana. Solid footwork across the way from Cristiano Bruletti. Each team with a shot apiece early on. The closest, though, has been the Gamecocks. Off the crossbar went Harrison Myring moments ago. Silla looking for Say. Right back to Silla. Tripped up. And a yellow card. Junior St. Just, the first yellow of the match for either team. Very reminiscent, though, of the matchup between these two last season up in Clemson. 5 cards drawn by the Gamecocks, that not including 2 red, both in the first half. That took them down to just 9 players for the back 45 minutes, and what was once a scoreless tie at the break turned into a 5-0 victory for a Clemson team that Tony Annan simply said you couldn't give any type of a break to them, but when you go 2 men down, it's nearly impossible against such a talented team. Alvaro Gomez, 10 yards outside the box. Instead, the shot off to the right from Skinner. Upcoming corner for the Tigers. Bruletti the stop. Cross inside the 6. And a big whiff from Say. Another scoring opportunity wasted by the Tigers. Silla looking for Reed. Past the back goal line. Upcoming corner once again for the Tigers. This one will be their 4th of the match. Alvaro Gomez, the team captain from Toledo, Spain. 25 minutes left in the first half. He keeps it short. Right back to Gomez. The cross headed out by Lee. Chasing it down will be Lillymoose. Long cross, Luckhurst along the far side and the flanks. Couldn't quite get there. Once again, the Gamecocks seem to just be too eager to start this match. Too much weight on the far touches. This is not a Clemson team that gives too much of a window for scoring opportunities. Remain Tiger possession near the corner. Alexander hugging the near post. Gomez, the free kick. Header away from Just. There is Silla with a pair of goals this week. That shot, though, far right. Second shot of the match from the Tigers. First from Silla, the reigning ACC Co-Offensive Player of the Week. Couldn't connect. Harrison Myring. The lone shot taken by the Gamecocks will step aside. It's true freshman Damola Salami from Atlanta, Georgia. Sees his 3rd game action of the season. 49 minutes against Ohio State, 41 against the Dayton Flyers. No goals, assists, or shots on the season. Looking down below the press box here at Stone Stadium, yeah, the seats are filled. You look outside, the railings are full. There are folks, this could be a fire hazard. They're even sitting in the steps, in the walkways, up and down the bleachers. Clement throwing away the initial opportunity. Juice now. Here's Salami. Fresh into the game for the Gamecocks. Salami from the left side has an opening. Not on mark. It's going to be a tough look for Salami, who tried to send it off his right foot. Trevor Mannion not getting a hand on a ball yet, as each of the two shots taken by the Gamecocks went off the crossbar. That one wide left into the netting. Bruletti too much to Luckhurst. Along the back line is Lundegaard. Take a look at Joey Skinner, key defender for this Tiger team. That throw in moments ago, the sophomore transferred in from UNC Greensboro. Last season played a huge role for a Spartan team that won the SoCon. 7 goals a year ago. His first team all conference. Actually a part of the UNCG team that took down the Tigers up at Riggs with a 3-1 victory. A foot race from League in Montana. Crane, a beautiful header into the stands. Whistle, though, against Reed and the Tigers. Update on the foul tally. So far, been a chippy match between these two, as both have a lot on the line. You look at South Carolina, what's at stake for them? Not only are they trying to take down their rival, but the Gamecocks have had a program since 1978 and never beaten a #1 ranked team, much less to do it against your rival the night before the college football season opens. We may see storming the field here at Stone Stadium if the Gamecocks can pull that one off. However, the Tigers, well, they have other plans. You go back each of the last 8 seasons, it's gone Clemson's way. Here tonight, they've got history on the line as well, trying to go for the longest win streak in series history of the Palmetto Cup. 9 is the record. That goes all the way back, like I said, 78. Well, that's how the series started for the Gamecocks. They lost their first 9 meetings to Clemson when they opened up their program. Things evened out there shortly after, but over the course of the last decade, it has been all Clemson in this rivalry. Clement up to Luckhurst. Back line's there. Back to League. Trying to find Perez. Inside of Salami. League the shot. Left of the post. And the Gamecocks are getting closer and closer. Trevor Mannion is not too happy with his back line. Another look here. He really snuck it in. The lower outside 90. First time all match, the Gamecocks had a healthy possession. They were offensive half of the pitch. Tigers, though, looking to do business. However, Luckhurst is there. Under 18 minutes to go in the first half. These two went into the locker rooms last year with no goals scored. Will they do it again, or does one break through and get the momentum on their side? Billy Moose near midfield and into Clement. Ranging from the circle. Near side Perez. Up to League. Can he save it? No. Past the goal line. Another upcoming goal kick for Mannion. trend continues. The Gamecocks have been that close to multiple goals in this first half. Chafamba stepping aside for the Tigers, with Parrish onto the pitch. Parrish, the short header. Whistle, foul against the Gamecocks and Perez. Into the corner goes League. Quick free kick for the Gamecocks. Here's Luckhurst working against Erkins. Back line of the Tigers once again poking it away. Oh, and here we go. Pushing and shoving down the Clemson sideline. And a red card has been issued. Unaware as to who the player was that got the red card, Luckhurst ran to chase down the ball to throw in on the near sideline. And immediately a scuffle ensued. The ejected Clemson player initiating some shoves. Tigers appealing their case, wanting an explanation, but once you throw a shove out, especially as a bench player, it's not going to go your way. Is this the momentum swing that the Gamecocks need to strike first? Sounds of Columbia echoing in the distance with the trains. League will have the throw-in just in front of the Clemson bench, who now, after Coach Phil Jones stepped in, created some space, there is plenty of separation between those on the sidelines and League on this throw-in. Clemson staff without their leader tonight, Mike Noonan, his 13th season leading the program, out with illness, away from the team tonight. Now ejected for the Tigers, now have a ruling, was Tyler Trimnall, a true freshman who's seen limited action through the first 2 matches. Upcoming goal kick for the Tigers. The Gamecocks ran out of room. Trimnall, as I said, not seen much action, just 12 minutes against Indiana and 10 against USC Upstate. Is a South Carolina native, so you knew this rivalry meant a lot to him. Just tempers flared here in this first half. His day is done. Under 15 to go before the break. Parrish up to save. Trying to get past Just. Along the back line, Nielsen's there. Possession remains with the Tigers. Read too much. You go back to the Tigers' national championship win last season, but they ran through the gauntlet to even get to that title match. You look at their NCAA tournament run. Took down Denver in the round of 32. Then you go to the round of 16 and take on a foe that the Gamecocks are familiar with. It was 9th-ranked Kentucky, where the Tigers locked up the 2-1 win. Advance to the quarterfinals, and you go out to Corvallis. Cross-country trip the Tigers took to #1 seed Oregon State, and sending it into PKs. The Tigers advanced yet again in the semis. Same situation against #4 Notre Dame in the College Cup. A 5-3 PK victory after a 1-1 tie in regular time. Then the final, as we said, they took down #2 Washington 2-0. So you go through that stretch and you beat the #1, #2, and #4 teams in a matter of just 2 weeks to earn the program's 3rd national title, first since 1987. Bryce Griffith standing in for Adam Luckhurst, who created many opportunities for the Gamecocks in the first half. Griffith, true freshman out of Atlanta. Perez looking for an angle to cross. The stop from Mannion. Gamecocks bringing a goal scorer off the bench. Griffith notching one against Dayton on Sunday. The Tigers bringing their team captain back to the sidelines, and Isaiah Reed. It's Tim Strobeck, sophomore out of Sweden, makes his 3rd appearance on the 2022 campaign. 1 goal earlier this week against USC Upstate. Montana near side to Parrish. Just outside the box, Parrish trying to create space from League. Couldn't save it past the goal line. Another kick up coming from Alexander. Gamecocks true freshman keeper. Mention how big of a piece Alexander was going to be in tonight's match. And he's a player who's still both literally and figuratively getting his feet back under him. Had surgery right when he arrived to campus in the fall. Native of Canada. Arrived to campus, immediately had surgery, and really didn't get to train all that much with the team before taking on Ohio State. And not only did he start against the Buckeyes in the season opener, he also kept goal the second match against Dayton as well, and here he is once again tonight. And in going with the keeper, he describes it's just a calm, great personality, with excellent movement in goal. Whistle against the Gamecocks with save down on the dirt. The Tigers with a pair of shots, the Gamecocks with 3. Neither of which have found the back of the net yet. To the 36th minute. Montana working around the center stripe, back to the back line. They go far side to Erkins. cross, Alexander Corrals. Gamecocks trying to take down the Tigers for the first time since 2014. Eight straight victories in this series for Clemson. Just working around traffic. League trying not to run out of space. Kick away will remain with the Gamecocks. Parrish, though, disagreed as he was defending that ball. Officials whistle will back up League roughly 10 feet along the Clemson sideline. Crane, a nice cross to keep it in play, back to Salami and Perez. Referees whistle for offside against Salami.
Offside call.
Tigers with a pair of first half goals on Monday against USC Upstate en route to a 2-0 win. All still in play. Here tonight, though, great job from the Gamecocks defensively. While they may have not won the possession battle so far in this first half, they have definitely been just defensive stalemates along the back line and inside the box. Clement the stop. Tigers maintain control. It was Gomez who gives it away. Griffith, who had a goal this week, gives away to Clement, the team captain. Clement still in control. Griffith will now chase it into the wing. On the backside is Montana. And the Gamecocks will keep it. Pair of substitutions checking in. One for both sides. It's senior Brian Banahan in for Salami, and Banahan is known to play in big-time moments for this group. Former All-Conference USA team member each of the last few seasons. Looking for the shot. On the inside was Banahan, trying to make an immediate impact. The Gamecocks will get a corner out of it. Under 5 minutes. Can the Gamecocks take the momentum just before the break? The first of the night for the Gamecocks. Rocky Perez, the honors from the near flag. Header put back. Clement outside the 18, deflected up and over the crossbar. Just as they had gone nearly 42 minutes without one. The Gamecocks getting back-to-back corners. Perez once again, this time to the far flag. Perez. Far kick along the backside. We'll go back to the Tigers. And that's been a general theme for this South Carolina team throughout the first half. That's been having too much weight on their touches, whether it's trying to find a teammate in scoring position, whether it's just like that moment there from the corner. This is a young group. At times, Tony Annan said, can simply just be naive on the field. They have to play like veterans if they want a chance against the top-ranked Tigers. Crane the stop. Perez from the circle, looking for Banahan. On the cross, far side, Berletti chasing down. As Mannion will corral. These two teams tied at no score in the first half of last season's matchup. Will they do it once more? No chase into the wing. Gamecocks will simply take a goal kick. Substitution stepping on, one veteran for another as Frost relieves Clement. For Logan Frost, tonight his 50th career match in the Garden Black. Clement will get a rest to end the first half. He's going to be a big part of the Gamecocks' effort to cross the final 45. 102 to go. What type of an opportunity can the Gamecocks create in the final 60 seconds of the first half?
1 minute remaining in this half.
Too much from Crane. Look back over the course of this first half, and offensively, the Gamecocks have had many more opportunities of true scoring threats than the Tigers have, out shooting Clemson 4-2. However, one thing that South Carolina will look to clean up in the half, the foul count, 10-3, not in their favor. They've kept the possession on the side of Clemson for most of this first half. The Tigers simply, though, haven't had any chance to take advantage.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
South Carolina is looking to be the first team this season to take down the Tigers. They're halfway there. For the first time this season, Clemson has not scored at the break. The Palmetto series heating up in Columbia. Tensions are hot, emotions running high from both teams. We've seen chippy play, we've seen a night as they look to take down the Tigers for the first time in nearly 9 years. Back ready for the first half is Clemson and the Gamecocks. Another look at your first half numbers. The Gamecocks out shooting Clemson 4-2. Two of those nearly sneaking their way in for South Carolina. for Clemson, like we said, 2 matches coming in, 2 wins for them over Indiana and USC Upstate. In both of those, not only did they lead at the half, but simply put, they had scored at the break. Much different change here tonight. Match underway for the final 45 minutes. The Gamecocks will look to clean up their act as far as the chippiness goes. 10 fouls in the first half, including a yellow card to Junior St. Just. This foul, though, against the Tigers, as the only red card we saw in the first match came against a player who had not even seen game action yet, a true freshman in Tyler Trimnell for Clemson. There was an altercation that took place near the Clemson bench, and Trimnell shoved Adam Luckhurst of the Gamecocks. Did not get any reason as to what took place prior to the pushing, but Trimnell was immediately ejected from this match. Near side, Bruletti on the cross. The back line of the Tigers is there. The Gamecocks strike within the first 2 minutes of the second half. Corner upcoming, third of the match for South Carolina. Team co-captain Peter Clement with the honors on the near flag. Too far wide open goal. Clement inside the box. Sails high. What initially looked like too much on the corner brought the keeper Mannion out of goal, and nearly a mistake costed the Tigers an early deficit. Backing up is Mannion. Myring, the aggressor. You saw there in the first half, Harrison Myring nearly had his second goal of the season. A laser shot off the crossbar in the 13th minute. Fourth corner for Carolina. Once again, it'll be Clement. The opportunity is there for the Gamecocks. Header away from Say. Foul against the Gamecocks. Their 11th of the match.
on the restart for Clemson.
Lily Moose looking to create action. Erkins back towards the circle. Frost trying to create movement. Works through two defenders. Gomez looking for a break along the back line. Crane the stop, far side for League. If you're wondering who may have brought their beach towels, they're backside of your screen along the far touchline. Well, that's the Gamecock women's soccer team. Notched up a 2-2 draw last night against the same Clemson Tigers. Shelley Smith's group ranked 4th in the country as they look to make their way back to the College Cup for the 2nd year in a row. If you were with us last night, you saw who was filling those same seats. It was the Gamecock team on the pitch here tonight. Both Shelley Smith and Tony Annan's programs ultra supportive of each other, especially on a rivalry night. Alexander, true freshman keeper, his 3rd career start for the Gamecocks. He's the only keeper who's seen action this season. Myring trying to escape. Uday looking for action in the wing. Instead, it goes back to the Tigers. Goes to Uday, 6-foot freshman out of Birmingham, Alabama. His first game action in 2022. Uday looking for space. Too much to Myring. Stepping out is Mannion. Silla near side to Skinner. The cross off the foot of Reed. And the Gamecocks clear it away. First time since early in the first half that Clemson, who's typically a possession-oriented team, has had strong control inside the box. Looking for Skinner. Header too far ahead. You would think on a Friday night, especially on the eve of the first college football game tomorrow for South Carolina, that students wouldn't be spending their Friday evening here with us, but they have filled these seats to a capacity crowd. I was also told with a break they were having to turn people away at the gates early on in the match. They were that far at capacity. But the seats have remained filled for the final 45 minutes. The Gamecock faithful want to see if their team can take down what many here in Columbia just simply refer to as the team from the upstate in Clemson. Silla working from 10 yards out. Gives way to Skinner. Tripped up by Bruletti. But no foul issued. Taking another look here. Initially thought the whistle was just that. Instead, the whistle was for the roll rolling past the back goal line. Lucky break for the Gamecocks with a free kick avoided just outside the box. That ball onto the roof of the soccer facility. Bruletti stopping with the chest, trying to find Uday. Too far. Lily Moose at midfield. Myring in stride. Nice stop along the back line by the Tigers. Adam Lundegaard. That stop for Clemson. Myring not too pleased with the extracurriculars. Back line of the Gamecocks along the center stripe. Frost trying to turn the page. Possession remains with the Gamecocks. Logan Frost, an experienced player tonight, his 50th career match with South Carolina. Is he the one to find his first goal, not just of the season, but from either team here tonight? Say working through defenders. Just to Silla. Reed knocked down, no call. Back line of the Gamecocks looking for an opening. Just for freshman from Haiti. Too much to Frost, a big miscommunication between he and Lily Moose. Junior St. Just, you see there, no stranger to playing for Tony Annan. In fact, moved from his native country of Haiti to the United States back in 2019 to train with Annan down as part of Atlanta United. League trying to play surprise. Far side Silla, a pair of goals against Indiana. Gives way to Skinner, back to Silla outside the box. Over to Reed. Boot in the air, Skinner the stop. Bruletti booting it away. Fifth corner of the night for the Tigers. Does the nation's top team get back in their rhythm, or do the Gamecocks hold strong as they have for over an hour here tonight? Keeping it short for Silla. Skinner inside, and the goal! Alvaro Gomez gives the Tigers a 1-0 lead with under 30 to go. Gomez, who took the shot in the first half, snuck that one past the diving Alexander into the upper 90. Just like that, the Tigers take the lead at Stone Stadium. Sixth goal allowed this season by Alexander. Dakota Salami back onto the pitch for the Gamecocks. The Tigers strike again. Too much for Silla. Myring looking for the equalizer. Once again, too much on the touch from the Gamecocks. Myring has positioned himself for multiple scoring opportunities tonight. Both have just been hot shots off his right foot. First half off the crossbar, that time sailing much too high. Gamecocks know they're having to work from behind now if they want to avoid their 9th consecutive loss to their in-state foe. Shot from Salami, corralled in from Mannion. Salami's first shot this season. Perez tripped up, no call. Sade trying to work around Just. Back up to Gomez, a goal scorer moments ago. Inside to Say. Just, the stop. Foul issued against the Tigers. Mohamed Say. A push of Just. Tigers leading 1-0. approach 26 minutes remaining here tonight. Frost. Here's Perez. One move, looking for Meyering. No call. There's a goal kick upcoming for the Tigers. And the Gamecock faithful aren't too pleased, and neither is Tony Annan. Annan voicing his displeasure to the nearby official. Looking for action is Strobeck. The stop from Kolodny. Micah Kolodny, a true freshman, Colorado Springs, Colorado. No reception on that call from the sideline. Fresh face into the match for the Gamecocks as Meyering returns to the bench. It's John Eske, redshirt senior out of Urbana, Maryland. His third straight game seen action off the bench. Had an assist against Ohio State, and then in 31 minutes against Dayton on Sunday, connected with a shot on goal. Strobeck, body there, far side. League will look to corral. Goal kick, Gamecocks. Brandon Parrish back on the pitch, leaving Alvaro Gomez, tonight's goal scorer for the Tigers. Parrish 16 minutes in the first half. A goal in the 60th minute from Alvaro Gomez, his first of the season. Coming on the 3-year anniversary of his first career goal back in 2019 against Detroit Mercy. That's the lone difference maker in this rivalry matchup. Pass gets away from Kolodny. Clemson's style of play, and there's a reason they're at the top of the rankings and the defending champs. They command possession throughout the match. So far in this second half, they've done just that, keeping in their offensive third for the majority of the time. And moments like that, when South Carolina's trying to create something, they just haven't had any success in finding space. Well, that trend change here is Perez in the stretch. Poked away last moment as Salami was looking for his first career goal to level this match out. Corner upcoming for the Gamecocks. Their 5th of the match. Once again, it's Clement. Can the Gamecocks find the equalizer? Kept short to Perez. Cross inside, trying to go off the back foot was SK. Despite outshooting the Tigers 7-3, South Carolina trails by a goal. Say stepping aside the first time tonight. Isaiah Easley, true freshman from Hawaii, getting his first game action. Silla trying to make this a 2-goal game. Saved by Alexander. His 13th save of the season, now a stoppage of play. Another look on Usman Silla following the shot. Just remain down on the pitch, grabbing that lower left calf. Training staff will now step on for Silla. We look ahead on each of these two teams' schedules for the next couple of days. For the Tigers, after tonight, they'll return home back to the upstate, roughly a 2.5-hour drive. Back up Interstate 26. Their next action coming up on Monday as they play host to UNC Asheville before another road trip. This one, though, much longer. Their first ACC showdown of the season up in Newton, Mass, taking on Boston College. The gauntlet that is the ACC. 7 teams ranked in the top 25 coming into tonight, including the top 2, the Tigers and Pittsburgh. And Clemson, despite the 2.5-hour drive, pretty well represented inside Stone Stadium. Both student population, alumni living in the area as well. This is a rivalry that stretches from the mountains of Walhalla in Oconee County down to the shores of Charleston and into Myrtle Beach. Silla walking off under his own power. Clock will resume just a second over 20 minutes in this match. Usman Silla not going to sit any. Soon to check back into this one. Juice retreating. Gamecock throw in, it'll be Frost. Gives way to Kolodny. SK from 10 yards outside the box runs into traffic. Collision far side, no whistle. And the Gamecocks take it back. Parker League gives way to SK inside the 18. And the Tigers' back line is there. A Gamecock down along the far side. Action is now halted. for South Carolina is Peter Clement along the far side of the pitch. Clement, a co-captain of this South Carolina team. Just a silent leader that commands the respect of his teammates. As you see Parker League looking on Clement there alongside Crane. Tony Annan, his second season leading the program. Just the second head coach ever for the history of South Carolina men's soccer. Mark Burson leading the way the first 45 years. Annan making his first stop in the collegiate game. Had previous experience at the professional level, most previously leading from the ground up the development of the academy for Atlanta United. But made the jump to college simply because he said, I'm approaching 50. I want a challenge, and to me, this is a challenge. I want to step in. And he used a word that we've seen begin to run rampant throughout college athletics. He wants to revamp the culture with the Gamecocks and get them solidified as a consistent top 25 contender. And he says so far in year 2, he feels like they're on track. When South Carolina Athletics Director Ray Tanner initially reached out about the position, Annan thought about it, then simply said, came back, I'm interested. They sit down the interview process, and Annan laid out for him the full 5-year plan he had for the Gamecocks program. Coach Tanner believed enough to bring him on board. And so far, you've already seen a difference in this South Carolina squad. And alumni have said the same thing to Annan, that there has been a page turned with the Gamecocks. Well, as Clement will check out of this match following the injury, Lily Moose back on the pitch. Enrique Montana stepping aside as well for the Tigers. He now talks over things with the trainer. Alvaro Gomez, tonight's goal scorer, his first of the season. Senior captain back on for action. Goal kick upcoming. Well, the Gamecocks, now under 19 minutes of play, have to make up the deficit quickly. And they've seen just how fast they can find those scoring opportunities, but have not been able to capitalize so far tonight. 7 shots to the Tigers' 4. Yet, when you look at the box score at the end of the night, only one stat matters. Who scored more? So far, that's the Tigers. Juice to Crane. South Carolina keeping possession with the back line. Crane, a nice move, gets past 2 defenders. Up at the circle, gives way to Perez. Sky high ball. Lily Moose to throw in just in front of the Tigers bench. Salami up and over, trying to find Frost. Kalani gets knocked down, no call. Remains with the Gamecocks. This match has been physical from the opening tilt. And we've seen a plethora of fouls issued. Here's going to be another one. Stoppage with a yellow card issued. Who is it against, Kalani or Silla? And it's against Usman Silla. Referee initially awarded the foul against the Gamecocks. This time, though, it goes in their favor. Second card tonight against the Tigers, the first. A red back in the 29th minute. Tyler Trimnell following a altercation just in front of the bench when he was not in the match. After the plea, Coach Phil Jones, they're going to reverse that yellow card opinion on Silla. It will be a foul issued, though, against the Tigers and a free kick for Rocky Perez. Actually, the Garnet and Black lining up just 10 yards outside the box. Can the Gamecocks find the equalizer? League along the far side. Mannion, the snag. Fouls against the Gamecocks, 6 to the Tigers. Juice maybe got away with one. Trying to find Salami, working in the wing, trying to find an angle cross back along the goal line. Will be awarded to the Tigers. Crane clears out to Alexander. The Tigers with a chance. The stop made. The back line of South Carolina once again coming through. It was Nielsen. SK in the far flanks. Time starting to tick away tonight. League far side. Here's Perez. Cross. Kolodny. Inside to Frost. Booted away. Ben Erkins coming up in another big-time way, the Greenville, South Carolina native. An anchor along the Tigers' back line. Here's Frost again, the cross looking for SK. Jumped up, Mannion there. Two quick chances for the Gamecocks, courtesy of the veteran Logan Frost. A third-team All-Conference USA a season ago. Foul against the Tigers. Kolodny left alone in the flanks. Back to Perez, the talented freshman from San Antonio. Not able to recover. Was Salami. And a pair of big-time names back into the mix for the Tigers. Their senior captain, Isaiah Reed, alongside Mosey, the senior who's had 4 goals against the Gamecocks the last 2 years combined. Foul against South Carolina, 13th of the match. A goal in the 60th minute by that man, Alvaro Gomez. Your 1-0 score. Skinner looking for space. Goes back to the Garnet and Black. Juice brought down. Stoppage of play. Yellow card issued against the Tigers. And Isaiah Easley, his first of the match. First yellow card against Clemson. Second card of the match for the Tigers. Just still down on the pitch. He is a defender that has seen all 79 minutes of action tonight along the Gamecocks back line. And as we look here in front, Tony Annan is going with energy across the final few minutes in this match with St. Just back on his feet. See easily there, recipient of the yellow card. I talk about going with energy. The Gamecocks soon to check in a fresh 5 here at midfield. A few key pieces: Clement, Luckhurst, Meyering all starters tonight. The Gamecock faithful hoping this surge of energy is enough. Meanwhile, Sullivan in the match for Chimfumba. Luckhurst, who created a lot of exciting moments in that first half, back on the pitch. Up over the top, League retreating. Logan Hitzman fresh into the match. Inside. Offside. Gamecocks trying to tie this match up in the final minutes. The women's program for South Carolina did just the same last night against Clemson, ended in a 2-2 draw with a goal in the 80th minute. Now in the 81st minute of this match. Juice knocked down. Another foul against the Tigers. And Juiced, who's dealt with injuries the last few minutes, will step aside for Jaden Ramsey Kelly. His first game action tonight. Transfer junior, native of Ontario, but Ramsey Kelly spending the last 2 seasons up in Oakland, they're just northwest of Michigan, in Detroit. Easily to the sidelines as Usman Silla steps back into the fold for the Tigers. Possession stays with Clemson. Pressure coming from Reed, trying to take it away from League. Hitzman now chases into the wing. Corner kick for the Tigers. Can they find the final nail in the coffin from the far flag? Goal here would bring the Tigers to almost certainty their 3rd victory of the season. Reed. Header out by League. Back to Silla. Reed in the wing, looking for an angle to cross. Ramsey Kelly the stop. Reed up over the top, too much. Silla, deflection, up and out from Clement. Perez tripped up, foul against the Tigers. Under 6 to go. Here comes a card against the Tigers. Alvaro Gomez picking up the yellow, his first of the match. But Gomez remains down. He's the difference maker in our score. Finisher in the 60th minute. Although both teams have had their opportunities, the Tigers with 5 shots, the Gamecocks with 7. However, for South Carolina, just one of those 7 has been on goal. Have just had too much weight in the kicks. At times, sending it too far wide. Now, you look at Clemson's side of things, and Phil Jones, associate head coach, who's interim head coach for tonight's match. 13-year leader Mike Noonan unavailable tonight, back home at Clemson dealing with an illness. So Jones steps in his place, and I was speaking with a few Clemson officials before tonight's match and simply posed the question, when was the last time Noonan had to miss a match? Easy answer, nobody had any idea. Gomez able to walk off under his own power, but in visible pain. Jafamba, starter from tonight's match, back on the pitch. Ramsey Kelly. Once again, too much on the touch. Clemson looking to hold on to their 3rd win of the season, but also tie the record books. This would be their 9th straight victory over the Gamecocks, tied for the longest in the Palmetto Series. Kolodny near side. Inside the 18, through the legs of Griffith. A foul against the Gamecocks. Boot from Mannion. Just all the way into the wing from the corner. Diving on it is Alexander. Quickly there was Silla looking to make the play, and Alexander just had to make the split decision. And good choice by the true freshman keeper. Throw in South Carolina. Does the fresh energy, 5 substitutions made by Tony Annan just moments ago, does that start to make a difference in the final minutes? Can they capitalize on some of the Tigers' starters beginning to wane? One Gamecock down. Quickly speaking with the trainer. Tony Annan, as best he could, has had this Clemson team right in the position he's wanted them all night long. With his offense getting multiple opportunities, they're out shooting the Tigers. But I said earlier this week, he's got a young club. 18 true freshmen on his roster. And they're going to learn to play in these big moments as their careers go along. Luckhurst tripped up, still live ball. Kolodny on the cross. The save from Mannion. There's one bright spot for the Gamecocks. It's the first time they've outshot Clemson in this series since 2018. Dangerous territory. Alexander, the leaping grab. Two minutes remaining in this year's Palmetto Series. Against the Tigers, and the Gamecocks are given another opportunity. Clement, co-captain, will try to get things started. Looking for the tie against the top-ranked Tigers. Clement, header inside. Another opportunity back inside the 18. It's poked away by the Tigers and Mose. That ball never corralled by the keeper, Mannion. The Gamecocks just could not break through. .60 seconds remain in this match. Say off the chest, it'll go back to South Carolina. Well, for Clemson, a goal in the 60th minute. Alvaro Gomez, the deciding factor in the capital city, but we still have 30 seconds left. The Gamecocks aren't done. Throw in far side for Griffith. 25 seconds and counting. Clock beginning to expire. Inside the 18. Bicycle kick. Right of the post. Luckhurst just trying to create anything he could. That will do it. Clemson improves to 3-0 on the season. Meanwhile, the Gamecocks fall to 0-2-1. A valiant effort from both teams. The Gamecocks give the Tigers their toughest test of the season. A 1-0 final for Clemson.